Good morning. Today's devotion is for May 3rd, and we continue in the book of Philippians. And, one of my favorite chapters is chapter 3. And verses 10 through 11, Paul says, I want to know Christ and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of sharing in his suffering, becoming like him in his death, so somehow to attain to the resurrection of the dead. What about those first 5 words? I want to know Christ. I was watching television not too long ago, and there was an ad on the paper. I think it was from a magazine from New York. I'm not sure which one, but the whole thing was truth. It's so funny. In a relativistic society, finally an ad on paper, on television, that says, we had better figure out what truth is because truth matters. Where do you find truth? There is so much information. We can take any subject in the world and do a Google search, and we can get more information that our hearts and minds and souls would ever want. We could get ourselves so confused because this group says this, and this group says this, and this group says that, and I don't know what to believe. But I'm telling you this morning, there's something about knowing Jesus. I want to know him. Because Jesus says, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. You can't even get to the Father if you don't know me. And then what does it mean to know him? I mean, sometimes our Christianity becomes a religion, a philosophy. Do I have enough truths in my mind? But what about the fact that the truths are supposed to affect our whole lives? It is not just that I assent to some truths, but that it's Jesus living in me. Paul says, it is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. He says that in Galatians. I want you to contemplate today that when Paul says, I want to know Christ, it's not just a singular knowing. For him, that knowing is so broad and so big that it would never be consumed. You could never know enough. You could always know more. It is a constant growth. And that even when we're in heaven, how can our minds and souls wrap our minds around a God, an eternal God, who loves us even though we're broken and sinful, who would redeem and save us even if we could care less? Oh, what kind of God does that? What kind of being does that? I want to know him. I want to know him. Maybe that's it today. Grab a gospel, Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, and start getting to know him a little better. I pray that this devotion is a blessing to you. Have a firmly rooted day.